Ethan Parker hadn't noticed the woman standing beside the car yet. His attention was fixed on the little girl and the blue bicycle between them. The chain hung loose and crooked, the way old bikes look when they've been loved hard but maintained rarely. The little girl had walked the bicycle all the way down his driveway by herself. She couldn't have been older than 6. Curly golden hair framed her cheerful face, and she wore purple leggings and brown boots that looked a size too big. She tapped gently on the open garage door, not with her fist, not timidly, but with the back of her tiny knuckles, like a polite grown-up. "Excuse me," she said seriously. "My bike is broken, and we live next door now." Ethan put down the wrench in his hand and smiled. "You live next door now?" She nodded proudly. "We moved here on Sunday. My name is Lily. Ethan Parker." He crouched beside the bicycle and examined the problem. The chain had slipped from the rear sprocket, a repair that would take less than 2 minutes. But instead of fixing it himself, Ethan looked at the girl and asked, "Would you like to learn how to fix it?" Lily's eyes became huge. "I can do that?" "It's your bike," Ethan said simply. Slowly, patiently, he showed her how the chain worked, why it had slipped, why forcing it would only make things worse, and how to guide it back into place carefully. He let Lily do almost everything herself. His hands only steadied the wheel. Finally, click. The chain slipped back into position. Lily looked up at him with a smile so bright that it seemed to light the entire driveway. "I fixed it." "You sure did." As Ethan stood and brushed off his jeans, he noticed someone watching. A woman stood beside a silver SUV parked near the curb. She wore a beige coat over a blue floral dress. Her arms were crossed. She had clearly been standing there for a while because the morning sunlight had shifted around her. Yet she didn't look angry. She looked uncertain. "She knocked on a stranger's garage door," the woman said. It wasn't an apology, and it wasn't exactly an accusation either. Ethan smiled. She was very professional about it. Something changed in the woman's expression. A tiny smile. "I'm Sophia Bennett," she said, "Lily's mother." Ethan Parker. Lily had already started riding circles around the driveway. "She's good with tools," Ethan said. Sophia raised an eyebrow. "Really?" Didn't panic, didn't force anything. Sophia watched her daughter. "She doesn't usually talk to strangers." Maybe she wasn't looking for strangers. Sophia looked at him. Maybe she was looking for someone safe. For the first time, Sophia truly studied him, and somehow she relaxed. "Thank you," she said softly. Over the following weeks, Saturday mornings became something neither of them expected. Every Saturday around 9 o'clock, Lily would appear at Ethan's garage. Sometimes she came with her bicycle, sometimes with questions, sometimes with absolutely no reason except curiosity. "What are you fixing today? What does this button do? Can screwdrivers wear out? Do cars get tired?" Ethan answered every question with endless patience. Soon Lily had her own pair of tiny work gloves and an old toolbox Ethan painted purple, especially for her. The first time he gave it to her, she hugged him without warning. Sophia happened to witness the moment. She stood silently at the edge of the driveway. Something in her eyes became emotional. By the 3rd Saturday, she brought coffee. "Peace offering," she joked. "For what? For spending 2 weekends spying on you from the driveway." Ethan laughed. Understandable. Sophia laughed too, and Ethan realized something. She had a beautiful laugh, not forced, not practiced, real. As weeks turned into months, the three slowly developed routines. Lily helped Ethan wash his truck. Sophia sometimes stayed to talk, and somehow, conversations that were supposed to last 5 minutes became an hour. One afternoon, rain interrupted their plans. Lily sat inside the garage coloring while Ethan and Sophia drank coffee. "So," Ethan asked, "what do you do?" Sophia hesitated. "I run a company." "What kind?" "Technology." "Sounds stressful," Sophia laughed. "That's one way to describe it." She didn't say anything else. Neither did Ethan. He wasn't the type to ask questions people clearly didn't want to answer. Weeks later, he learned the truth, not from Sophia, from Lily. Mom's the boss of everything, she announced proudly while handing Ethan a screwdriver. Oh, at her company. Really? Yep, thousands of people listen to her. Ethan simply nodded. Must keep her busy. Later that evening, curiosity got the better of him. He searched the name Sophia Bennett. His eyes widened. Sophia Bennett, founder and CEO of Bennett Innovations. More than 2,000 employees, offices in 4 cities, featured in magazines, interviewed on television, worth hundreds of millions. Ethan quietly closed his laptop. The next morning, nothing changed. Sophia still brought coffee. Lily still asked impossible questions, and Ethan still treated them exactly the same. Weeks later, Sophia finally asked, "You looked me up, didn't you?" Ethan smiled. Lily gave me a hint. And what? You don't seem impressed. Ethan shrugged. You own a company. Sophia blinked. That's all? You also make excellent coffee. For a moment, she stared at him. Then she burst out laughing. Not the laugh she used in interviews, not the laugh she used with investors, a genuine laugh, and strangely enough, tears formed in her eyes. You know, she whispered, most people either get intimidated or suddenly become interested. Should I be? No. Then I won't. Sophia smiled. You really are different. Months passed, and for the first time in years, Sophia felt something she had almost forgotten. Peace. One Saturday evening, while Lily played nearby, Sophia quietly asked, "Doesn't it bother you that my daughter trusted a stranger?" Ethan thought for a moment. No. Why? Because children notice things adults ignore. Sophia looked curious. What things? Kindness. She followed his gaze toward Lily. The little girl was talking to a flower as though the flower could answer. Sophia smiled. She chose this neighborhood. Ethan looked surprised. What do you mean? We had 4 houses to choose from. And? I spread the maps on the table. And? I told Lily to point. She smiled softly. She pointed here. Ethan laughed. Good instincts. Sophia nodded. She gets that from her father. Ethan noticed the sadness in her voice. He passed away? Sophia nodded. 3 years ago. I'm sorry. Sophia smiled gently. So was I. Silence settled between them, until Lily suddenly appeared. Mom? What? When Ethan gets old, can we keep him? Sophia burst out laughing. Ethan nearly dropped his coffee. Keep me? Yes. Lily nodded seriously. Like family. Sophia wiped tears from her eyes, and for some reason, neither adult corrected her, because somewhere along the way, without anyone noticing, that's exactly what they had become. Sometimes life doesn't announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives quietly, with a broken bicycle, tiny knuckles tapping on an open garage door, and a child brave enough to trust. Because if you're wise enough to hand someone the tools instead of doing everything for them, you may discover that what gets repaired isn't just a bicycle chain. It's loneliness, it's hope, it's trust, and sometimes it's 2 wounded hearts and 1 little girl finding their way home.